Happy birthdays as well. You always find the latest courtyard permanent solution. Out of the box.
Hello and welcome to Radio Waves by todderbert. If you enjoy reviews, comparisons, band scans of new and classic portable radios, then make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icons to miss any of my most awesome videos. In front of us we have the Duronic Apex. It's a digital AM/FM rechargeable radio. I got this radio for 20 bucks off Amazon. Here's the box it came in. Another one of those rechargeable radios that lacks the NOAA weather band, but is very interesting. And we'll talk about the interesting factor on this radio. Picture of the radio, some bullet points in the bottom here. Pretty simple. Wind up digital screen torch headphones. No batteries, yay. Okay, some more stuff on the back here. Okay, got some profile pics there. Okay, so I took everything out of the box to make it quick and easy. So inside the box, we got some cables. Let me go ahead and bring this down. Get a closer look at these different cables. So I was like, what is this about? So what you do is you have two different cables. Now they're proprietary, which is kind of a bummer. So you have to find a way to attach these to the radio. A neat idea, I think one of my subscribers mentioned, was a dice bag. You know, you can pick up at a game store with a little drawstring or at a craft store. And you just put those into the little drawstring bag, pull it tight, and tie it to the radio. Perfect. So that's the way to, attach these to the radio nicely and get to them easily without cutting a zip tie off or rubber bands or whatever. So it's a good idea. So what we have here is this one here charges the radio. This one you hook up to your USB charger, your computer, your power block. This goes to the radio. This one here goes from the radio out. So you have a USB charge out feature. So that's a nice setup. So this is really good if you are in an emergency situation and you have a phone that doesn't need a huge charge, like it's not a monster size smartphone, because I'll be honest with you, if you do, you'd probably be winding the Dynamo forever trying to charge it up to get a call out. So it's almost better to have a inexpensive small battery phone on hand to make emergency calls with. So, but that's what this is for. Alrighty, throw those aside. Next we get an instruction sheet. Yes, it's a roadmap to the radio. They did it very inexpensively here. They have multilingual. This is the one page where it's all English. And we can go over some of the specs here. I like how they put it right in the front. There's a reception. This is an analog radio. Again, very surprised by this because it's a digital radio, but it's analog. So we have a digital frequency counter, which I thought was fantastic. Here's our frequency 87 to 108 on FM and AM's 520 to 1620. Now, of course, if you're anywhere in the world, it'll be able to tune between 520 and 1620 because it is analog. There is no stepping of this radio. So very cool. There's output, audio output, pretty minimal. Here's the radio working time. You guys can just zoom in on there. It says 1 minute of cranking, 18 to 27 minutes, and the light works for, looks like 27 to 36 minutes. It talks about, speaking time after 3 minutes of cranking, charging a mobile phone, 4 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to guess it's going to be on the low side for the bigger smartphones nowadays. Here you go, radio working after 1 hour charging under sunlight, 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so you guys can just kind of zoom in there and kind of follow up with that. So there it is, pretty simple. We give a main parts lifespan. Switch is rated at 5,000 times. That's pretty nice. So there you go, size and weight in grams and millimeters. We'll go over that in the standard system in America here. And then there's the battery. It's got a little 300 milliamp hour, 3.6 volt. I would call it more of a fun runabout radio because the battery is such a lightweight battery. It's not a 18650, 2000 milliamp hour one. But this is good for just radio use. Okay. And if you go inside it here, open this up. Yeah, it's gigantic, right? It's like finding the roadmap to your radio. Here's the operation, which we'll talk about. Pretty basic stuff. They got a note here, time setting, use of the background light. And of course, we'll talk about all this stuff here. So pretty basic. Just wanted to show you this, and everything else here is in different languages. They have Italian, Spanish, German. So there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and just throw it off to the side, and let's get to the radio. So it comes bubble wrapped, which is nice. I always like to see that with a radio. And here it is. Now it leans a little bit because of the way the Dynamo on the back is. I think it looks pretty good on the red on red. So like pretty good. Yeah, actually looks pretty decent. So I'm going to keep it like this. Last time I used a board, but this looks pretty nice. We can see it. So let's go over the dimensions real quick of this radio. So across here we have 6 1/8 of an inch in length, and our height is 3 inches. We have a case depth of 2 1/4 inches. I brought some radios for size comparison. Let's bring this back up. And let me show you. Get this straightened up here. This little baby brother I just reviewed, and this is the hybrid. So we got the Apex and we got the hybrid. And these are both analog radios, which is neat. And you can see there's definitely a difference in size. The hybrid's definitely smaller and sports a larger solar panel. Go look at that. Pretty neat setup. And it's all analog controls in this one. This one has the digital frequency counter. So, and then of course we have CC pocket, just for size reference, because a lot of you guys want to know, because I have my CC pocket compared with many other radios in all my videos. Okay, that gives you an idea there. And of course we have Iron Man. He's the man with the master plan. Now, if you're going to use this radio like an emergency radio, I wouldn't probably have more of a casual use radio, more like camping. But you can keep this deck of cards with it, and for entertainment use, I always think it's neat. Rubber band, strap it on with a Velcro strap. That would work out pretty nice. You get entertainment right with the radio. Okay, that's my thoughts. All right, so the Duronic. Let's see here. Let's bring this back down a little bit. Okay, let's go over some features of this radio. There's quite a few, and I'll try to touch on them all. So left-hand side, we got a 3 LED flashlight, which is very bright. There's a light on top here, it says torch. And you can see it's more of a bluish light, but it's very intense. So at night, this would definitely light up the room. Definitely changing the color of my skin there. So that's interesting. Everything's soft touch plastics. You guys may not like that, but I don't find it too bad. This is that silicone style. The only thing, the rubber I noticed is these knobs here, probably for grip. So maybe over time these knobs here might get a little sticky. Not sure, but these are definitely rubberized here. Okay, so there you go. Carries over here to the front. We have our clock, which is always showing. That's nice. It says Duronic, which is encased. It's kind of stamped into the material. In the front here, you know, when you look at this, it looks like a helmet on a robot. This is the mouth. This is the eyes. See, right? And ears. I'm having fun. That's what it's about. But it's still a cool radio. I'm enjoying the radio. Bottom here is pretty interesting. There's actually 2 speakers. It looks like 2 speakers, and it actually is. So they rate them at, 36 millimeters each, and right around an inch and 1.4 inches or 1 3/8 of an inch is what I measured it at. So we had just under 1.5 inches each. Pretty cool. It sounds pretty nice. It doesn't have stereo, but it has a nice tone to it, and I like that. Okay, so there we go. Tuning, of course, volume on-off wheel and the tuning wheel. They're identical, kind of placed offset really nicely like that. It's easy to use, volume and tune away. Okay, top of the radio, we got a lot more going on. We got the headphone jack. Headphone jack is good. No low-level hiss. The audio experience is really nice. It's better than listening to the speakers here on the front. So if you have a pair of headphones and you like using headphones on a camping trip, plug it in and enjoy it. No FM stereo, but FM mono both ears. And of course, both ears for AM band. And it sounds fantastic. The tone quality is good. I like it. Here's our torch button again for the light here. We have an alarm set button. Think about the alarm. I tested the alarm. I'm just going to start testing alarms on these radios because I want to know what they sound like. I was wondering if it was a beeper because it didn't say it in the instructions. It turns on the radio, and the problem with that is it's off. So what does it know, and how does it know what memory of what volume you're set at? Well, it doesn't. So it automatically goes to a certain level, which is very high. It's like 3/4 volume. So if you want to use the alarm feature on here, cover the speakers up with like a towel or a pillow. You will wake up, trust me. The thing is loud. If you're one person that needs loud, this will wake you up. I know some people out there have to have it blaring, and this one will be loud. We have a time set button, pretty basic. We have an alarm on-off button, again basic. Hour-minute buttons, of course, for setting the clocks. Light feature, this is pretty cool. It turns on a purplish light there for the clock at night, so you can see what your display is. I thought that was pretty neat. Nice little feature, again, for a $20 radio. Pretty nifty. Like that. Band select. Now this radio, you turn it on, always starts you out in the FM band, but at the frequency, of course, you had it at because it is analog here, and it's wherever we put it at, it's going to stay. So it does start you off in the FM band, so you have to hit this again to go to the AM band. Also, we have a charging indicator. This turns red when you have a strong light source on it. My lights aren't strong enough to generate it, but we'll spin a dynamo and I'll show that to you. And then when you plug in the charger, it also lights up red. Okay, so let's see. Bottom of the radio, interesting. We have a switch here. It says on or off. Well, if you turn it off, everything goes dead on the radio. So if you want to conserve that battery, everything goes dead. And when you turn it back on, you got to reset the clock and set the alarm. So it's something to think about. But if you want to conserve power, that's what you do. You turn it off. Behind here is the replaceable battery. Now this is nice. Now the hybrid, this little guy, doesn't have an easy access to the battery. I'm sure it's replaceable, but you got to go through quite a few steps and maybe even some soldering skills to get to that one. But with this radio, let's do it on camera. Why not? Let's see, I got Phillips over here. Sure, I got something. Here we go. Let's open it up and have some fun looking in here. I know I don't even have the radio on yet, but well, that's really in there tight. I haven't opened this one up yet. Let's see if I can get it open on camera. Yeah, there we go. I have to muscle it. I'll make sure to tighten it down too much. Must have been tightened down too much from the factory. Let's open this up here. There you go. There's your little battery pack. Again, it's one of those 300 milliamp hour. Let's see if I can pull this out. See, there's numbers on it. Okay, let's see what it says. So 3.6 volt. Looks like was that AAA or quadruple A? Can I get that into focus there? Does it say AAA? Okay, and then oh, it's 2/3. So they're like those 2/3 size batteries. So it's like a AAA but downsized. 3 of them, and of course has their date code. This was February 2017. So this battery's 2 years old. Not too happy to see that, but you know, hopefully they'll start putting fresher batteries in here. I didn't have a problem charging this one, so, but still, it's 2-year-old battery. But I do have some of these nickel metal hydrate batteries. They're 10 years old and still working, so I can't write that out. So we'll screw that back in. Not so tight this time. There you go. See, one of those things where you check that before you start filming. So, okay, it's on. Okay, solar panel you saw there, back of the radio. We have an antenna. The antenna extends out and swivels a whopping 15 inches. Yeah, it could do better on FM reception. Maybe if you clip the wire to it. Here's our dynamo. I like how this is set up. It's like really nicely attached in here. It's got a little recessed spot for it. And it's really easy to hold onto the radio and spin the dynamo. So I could just sit here, make sure I give myself some clearance. There's our charge light comes on. So we can spin it away. You can hear me charging away. You're definitely putting some heat on that. So you're definitely making a charge. Now if you can spin that 180 times a minute, you'll get those results they said. But there you go. I think we covered all the features. Let's go ahead and talk about FM reception. Then we'll do a little radio todderbert, and then we'll go on some AM. So FM reception report. Like what I like to do with these radios is give them a little FM reception report because I don't like going through the FM ban. There's too much music and too many copyright issues. Mainly not that it bans the video from you guys watching it in the United States, but from other countries. There could be a song playing that is not allowed in certain countries, and they won't allow the video to be displayed. I didn't know that. And I found it out later on. So something to keep in mind. So that's why I do this. I rate it on five-star thing. I got fair, okay, good, very good, and excellent. Most analog radios like this one come in around okay to good, and this one did. This one got about 44 stations. The average is 48. The better than average is 50, and a little slightly lower than average is around 46. So this is just slightly below average, but not bad. Not for a small little radio with a tiny antenna. So I didn't expect much, and I got a little bit better than I expected. So that was really good, and it sounded great. Analog tuning again was sound smooth going between the stations. I like that better than the step tuning. Just I'm a fan of this digital frequency counter, very accurate, and being all analog, which you'll get to see in a moment. So okay to good on the FM sensitivity, and then FM selectivity was okay to good. You do have some big stations that drown out the smaller stations. It's just inevitable with a smaller analog radio like this. You tend not to get the selectivity we could, but like you do on a DSP radio. Okay, so there it is. Let's go ahead and do radio todderbert. Now, radio todderbert's cool. I use a C-Crane FM transmitter too. Let me see if I can get this out of here without knocking things over. Here it is. At this time, I got to set to 102.7. I usually run it at 97.7, but this radio picks up a station 97.7 with the antenna down. So I'm going to see what it does with 102.7 here. And I have a MP3 player hooked up to it with YouTube royalty-free music. So you're able to hear what this sounds like. And of course, you can compare it to my other videos and you get a general idea what the tonal quality is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. We'll tune to that station. There we go. I'll run this for a few minutes and we'll do a quick AM band scan and do final thoughts.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Having a little too much fun. Yeah, and as you saw, I forgot to mention the little port there for the charging the internal and external devices. We turn this stuff off here, and we'll go through the medium wave band. But yeah, I forgot to mention that DC in and out, the little tiny jack there. And yeah, it's not proprietary. I'd like to see a USB, like a micro, if they're going to do something that small anyway. I mean, come on, they got a lot of room here. I think they could afford a little space, even back here. I mean, well, they're trying to stay away from the Dynamo. I can see that. So, yeah, they could probably do a micro there. So, a little bit of a redesign would be good. And, of course, adding NOAA weather band would be awesome. I'm still doing final thoughts now. But anyway, we're going to go do the AM band. But, yeah, this is pretty cool. As you can see, it's frequency counter. Let me just turn this up on the FM. Whoops, turn it off. You can see it's nice and smooth. Go to the bottom of the band, and we'll switch it to AM. I think I get some religious station down here without the antenna. Sometimes. Okay. Switching to medium wave. We're at the bottom. Now this radio does have internally generated static. I thought it was something in the house again, but it's not. I went outside with it and heard a little buzzing. So if you hear the buzzing, it's coming from internal, maybe from the clock. Didn't expect that with a digital frequency counter radio, analog radio. But there's some kind of digital circuit causing some interference. Okay, could be a charging circuit with the solar panel, maybe. So let's go ahead and see what we can find. Might hear some lightning strikes. We got some storms rolling in. Buzzing, of course, isn't pronounced on larger stations.
And I don't see him as I was a diehard Republican. I don't, and then I have to tell you, I stopped feeling that way for a long time. And then
This is 560 WIND, Chicago, Illinois.
I believe he has a party affiliate. I don't really put him on a label on him. He's just a man who wanted to do this.
I don't expect very distant daytime stations, but evening stations. I got Zoomer Radio about 460 miles away. I got WSB Atlanta 600 miles away. I even got WCBS, and I even got KOA Denver with this radio at 890 miles. Couldn't believe it. So at night it wakes up, but during the day, not so much. Gotta get my locals and semi-locals.
They also rely on compressed air. That's where the folks at Weniger Compressor.
620 is WTMJ, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Compressor, two great Wisconsin companies doing work together. They've got a partnership to make sure Maynard still keeps on walking. Boston, that's the first that I remember of it, and I remember when hockey players started wearing it. It takes some getting used to, but it's not gonna affect anything. So let Jose Abreu wear 79. Let Eloy Jimenez wear 74. And you know what? If they ever get some of these other guys back, let them wear numbers in the 80s and 90s. Just win. Just throw strikes and win, man. JT Snow was the other one. Oh, okay. 2006 Red Sox.
So we got WSCR, The Score, Chicago, Illinois. I was just showing you, I forgot to mention that the solar panel is like, got this really cool poured look to it. I like that. It looks like it's a cool finish to that. It's like embedded in there. I do like how that looks. So this is The Score, home of the Cubs. Doing talk right now.
To any number, which is why he ended up with 84.
Wow, so he just doesn't care at all.
There you go. He just says,
We'll tune it up to WGN. God, he's got music on there. Come on, guys. Again, probably the start of a program, I'm guessing. Yeah, because the current time is what I showed you. But in case we forgot, let's bring this CC Pocket out here. We got 4:43 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and near Chicago, Illinois. Give you an idea where I'm at. I'm getting Chicago stations and Milwaukee stations.
White Sox 7 runs, 12 hits, no errors. 6 men left for the Tigers. 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors.
WGN Chicago.
Left. Dylan sees the winner. He's
WNDZ Portage, Indiana.
Archer, Cubs are going to recall Robel Garcia from the minors. He'll be at the ballpark tonight. Whether he plays is another matter, but the lineup includes Wilson Contreras to the outfield tonight in batting.
780 WBBM Chicago.
Played Chris Bryant with a sore knee, Jason Hayward with sore back and hip, getting a little rest tonight. You can hear it on 670.
Scott said that the live-action Lion King was one of the things that he was most looking forward to seeing. I don't know. I saw the play, the wonderful Julie Taymor play, and I thought it...
Okay, this is WCPT, Willow Springs, Illinois, about 40 miles away.
I hate these stories where little animals, have to fend for themselves.
Okay, we got music on 850 here. This is WAIT, Crystal Lake, Illinois. Let me see if I can tune this in. You have to just be close enough. I'm trying to get right on the money, but you don't have to with these analog.
I don't like Barack Obama. I think he was a really terrible, damaging president. But if I were invited to meet him, he was president, I certainly would have gone. Not because I have a lot.
890 WLS, Chicago. High pitch whine coming from the camera. Almost every radio, I get that interference from the camera.
I respect our country.
I'm not going to try to hunt down these fainter stations from Madison, so we're going to go right up the scale here to 1,000.
That was right across the English teacher right across from him. Yep. He used to love to play the basket.
So what's going on?
So this has a nice mellow sound to it when you have a low volume, low to mid volume with these two speakers, especially in a medium wave band. Sounds good. Gets a little too tinny when you start to turn it up higher.
Have a really, really good idea of what the basic
światowego sportu już tego lata zagoszczą w Chicago i w innych zakątkach USA. My tam będziemy specjalnie...
1030 WNBR, Vernon Hills.
I witamy, Daniel pociąga ponownie.
Music on 1110 is WNBI Chicago.
It's not and never will, but Keith, why don't you kick us off?
Should I start with Brian or Ian? Who wants to go first?
Yes on each of these. All right, I'm fine with that. We'll keep track.
Okay. The first one is your name.
So 1160 is WYLL Chicago, Christian radio.
Beaver fan. I'm going to go Psalm.
Okay, it's WSQR, the squirrel. And I'm going to grab CC Skywave over here. I always like to use this radio as a double checker here.
How are things, Debbie?
And we're going to go to 1180. And let's enter this in and see what it sounds like on this radio. Okay, so we lose a little bit of selectivity, sensitivity on the AM band towards the top. Whoops, go back there. So 1190, you hear that buzz? I'm sure 1190 won't hear it here. So it's definitely inside the radio. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and turn that back up. But if you get some strong stations, you don't notice it as much. In the evening time, I didn't notice it as much either. It gets pretty quiet after 1100 or so here during the day. We'll go to the top of the band, see if there's anything up here. Okay, it shows it topping out at 1660. Okay, that's about it there. All right, so we'll go ahead and do final thoughts on the Duronic Apex digital AM/FM rechargeable radio. AM/FM only. There's no weather band. Would it be one to run out and grab? I don't know. It's unique and different. You know, one thing I like about it is that it is analog tuned, and that it's a digital frequency counter. The internal noise is an issue on medium wave. Kind of bugs me a bit when like its baby brother here, like the hybrid. I don't think it has that problem. Let me make sure we're on AM. Turn this on. Okay, my music.
Going into the break.
No i naprawdę ma to bardzo... He did not reply to that tweet.
You're picking up a lot more stations and no internal buzzing. So options there. Depends on what you want. This little hybrid radio is actually a great alternative if you want analog tuned crank radio, solar charged. This little guy does it well, and you can hear there's no buzzing at all. I love it. And plus this has a headphone jack, and you can charge. And headphones sound good on this one, by the way. But yeah, that's a good option. But going back again, you can see there's a size difference. Okay, and they use the same size battery. So I'm thinking that, yeah, the little guy might be a better choice. But if you like the idea of a digital clock, and you like the idea of digital tuning, because if you know where you're at on frequency, you can just read the numbers. You don't have to look at a little bar to try to figure out where you're at. And this is dead on with the frequency. And you're on FM, and you listen to a lot of FM, this radio will be fine for you. You'll love it because the FM band, right on the money when you put the frequency. There is no internal noise that I could pick up, only on the medium wave band, and only on those weaker stations. On local stations, there's no buzzing, so that is a bonus. You also get a light. The hybrid doesn't give you a flashlight. This does. So you do get the flashlight, you do get the backlight on a display, so you can look at this at night. It is a bonus. The alarm feature, I don't know if it's great, not well implemented, but there's so many emergency radios out there. I mean, you can just run around and pick up a ton of these all over the place. I'm just looking around, see what I have on my desk. I have a running snail, and I have a FS89. I have all these different ones, but they don't do this. They don't have analog tuning. So I'm rambling. Would I recommend this? Yeah, as a maybe. You have to like it. You have to like this because it's different. Okay. There's no external dry battery storage. That's a tick against it, but it's so unique, the fact that it has the analog tuning. That's what makes it big for me, and the main reason why I'd recommend it. But then there might be people that want more, and of course I don't blame them, because in this market, $20 gets you NOAA weather bands, it gets you alert mode, it gets you reading lamps on some of those radios, and yeah, you get a lot more for the money. But if you want something unique and different, this one might fit the bill. It looks like a robot. It does. I love it. All right, guys, I went on and on. If you enjoyed the video presentation of the Duronic Apex, let me know. Give me a big like. You guys are the best. My viewership, you guys. 2, if you like this brand, I will continue to look for their different radios and review them. Their company, they make a lot of different stuff. So definitely hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified of future Duronic radio reviews, which is awesome. And of course, 3, comment below. Would you be buying the Apex radio, or would you rather buy the less expensive hybrid radio? Both analog crank solar charged radios. So gives you an idea. So which one would you pick? All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next episode.